From creating Homo Parody queer collective to winning Mr. Gay Great Britain, babes, they don't get much gayer than me. I unknowingly set up Homo Parody. I just started learning Lady Gaga routines, posted all this stuff. It just went off a little bit. It was crazy. The people that I've met since it started to now, just amazing. And you just learn so much from them.
You've suffered a lot of loss.
It's a deprivation. It's like you're deprived of that person. I still have that where I want to tell my mum that, you know, things are going well. You know, I've lost a lot of people and come to suicide, and you can never rationalise that it belongs to them. That's what they needed to do for themselves. And the people left behind are always going to have that kind of, what could I have done?
Can you do your little Real Housewives thing? Are you feeling up for it?
Can I refresh my memory?
Yes,
of it?
yes. And then to this camera here.
Okay, oh my God. From creating Homo Parody queer collective to winning Mr. Gay Great Britain, babes, they don't get much gayer than me.
I love that. I
that
just
right?
had the Real Housewives theme tune in my head the whole time. That was iconic.
Can you layer that on?
That was so fun.
Our little image in the bottom.
We were both like, just like staring at you. Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
It's like a rule of law. You have to be like, hi.
Literally just turn into Kardashians.
Welcome back to Avoiding My Actually Attached Boyfriend. I'm Faris, and this is my co-host,
Josh.
Oh, Joshi.
Or Joshy. Or Squishy.
Oh, Squishy.
Yeah, we can mix and match.
And today we have an exciting guest, David Allwood.
Hi. Where's the exciting guest?
She's right here.
They're coming. Don't worry, they'll be here in a sec. How are you? Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to do this.
How have you been? What have you been up to? Anything exciting?
Yeah, always doing way too much.
Are
Like
you?
just cramming so much into my days, and yeah, never stick at one thing.
Best way to be.
Yeah. But I'm good, really good. It's that weird time of year when everyone wants to like hibernate and kind of like go into themselves, isn't it? So yeah, like the pride flag's been packed away.
Yeah, summer's over, pride's
Yeah.
over.
Do you go all out for Pride?
Oh, all out.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
What does your Pride month look like? Or months leading up to Pride and after?
Yeah, well, with Homo Parody, Pride Month is like Pride 6 months, really.
Okay.
Like we're planning it before we started in Birmingham, which was like kind of the first big major one for the UK. And we went all the way to, our last Pride was actually at the Mr. Gay World Finals, where we did like this Pride celebration performance.
Why were you there?
Did someone win?
Yeah, so Pride all the time for us. And then now it's like, change of season.
Do you like autumn? Like autumnal vibes?
No.
Oh, you don't? Are you a
No.
summer baby?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
I should be in like a hot climate all year round. Yeah, I struggle
feel
with
you.
like autumn, winter.
Really?
So, yeah, I'm just not one of those ones that gets excited to like get all the like fluffy jumpers out. It's just not my vibe.
He's
I
he's
love
been
it.
counting down for Christmas.
Since
Really?
August.
Yeah.
Literally.
So you like being in like the cold and
I love sunshine, but I also love I like to be a bit balanced because I don't like the fashion is so much better in the autumn winter than summer.
Yeah.
Like summer is like you can obviously look good,
yeah,
but it's not so fun. Like you layer stuff,
layering up. Yeah, no, I hear you.
Yeah.
You got to make the most of it. That's the
Yeah.
thing. And we are quite lucky that we have such like defined seasons. But
Yeah.
I do feel like the colder months go a bit too long.
Yeah,
It's a bit
The
much.
winter
Especially
months-
January
yeah,
as well.
Yeah, January is that's a bit depressing. I'm gonna lie, but the autumn and vibes, I like that.
Autumnal vibes.
Okay, so talk
Weather
more.
done.
Next.
You always have to with British people. I feel like we just always talk about the weather.
Do you like cues? Literally. How do you feel about cues? Do you like them?
Love cues.
Do you stand
Love a
in a
good
specific
cue.
way? Or
Always sing into a hit bass.
no, I was going to say because you mentioned your company. Can you talk about that a
Yes.
bit more? Because I want to learn more. Of
course.
others want to learn more. So tell us.
Yeah, it's my baby. I love it. It's given me a complete new lease of life. And it all came from lockdown. Everyone had either banana bread or another passion project.
Literally.
No, all of that. And Mine, I mean, I don't want to get too deep into it, but basically I was a choreographer and I've danced all my life.
Okay.
And just through things that have happened to me, I just kind of lost my way a little bit with all of that. And I felt like I was doing it for the wrong reasons, and I was auditioning for shows and my heart wasn't in it anymore. And it was a hard thing for me to kind of understand, because dance has been just me. Like, if anyone that knew me knew that I danced, and that was kind of like, felt like 90% of my personality was the fact that I was a dancer.
Oh, okay.
Was it when you turned it from a passion into a career, or
No, I
was it a
still
little bit
loved
after that?
it, but I think doing it for a career, it does kind of beat you down a little bit. Obviously, you get a lot of knockbacks, you get a lot of no's, as many as yeses, and I dealt with it well. But I just felt I lost my way creatively completely. Like, I always thought I'd be a choreographer, and I just didn't really. I just sort of sat back on all of that for a while.
Okay.
And it was lockdown where you had time to think and you had time to like process so much. I was like, no, I need to flip this around. I need to start doing something for myself. And it's that whole thing where people say, you know, if you don't know, you don't. If you don't try, you don't know. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, it's kind of crunch time now. I need to stop thinking, oh, I should have done that. I should have done this. I'm just going to do it. So I unknowingly set up Homo Parody. I just started learning Lady Gaga routines.
I love
and
that.
getting my husband to film them
Okay.
like, in our fire escape, safe distance and all that.
I forgot all of that.
Yeah.
2 meters.
Yeah, and I just dug whatever I found out from under the bed and like put on a leotard that looked kind of similar to an outfit.
We can make it work.
Yeah, didn't look similar at all. Ariana Grande was absolutely dragged by me when I was doing Rain on
You know,
Me.
recently she did mention in an interview.
So yeah, I posted all this stuff and it just went off a little bit. It was crazy. And I hashtagged Homo Parody, just thinking I'm a big old homo doing a parody, so let's call it that. And people were like, oh, I love that hashtag, like, so good. So I kind of unknowingly set it all up. And then more people wanted to get involved. I then started doing like bigger scale projects for charities, to kind of bring people back together when we were more allowed to like book dance studios and all this. And I, like I said, I just felt like I'd been reborn. I know it's so cheesy,
No, I love that.
but I was just like, this is what I want to do. And also seeing the effect it had on other people, where they felt like they were a star in a music video, and like giving all my friends these roles. Like my friend Nari played Beyonce when we did Telephone.
Oh, lucky.
And
Oh, look at
I
you.
know, right?
We'd be fighting for that spot.
Yeah, definitely. And he just smashed it, and it just kind of brought us all together in a different way. So that was kind of like the foundations of it. And from there, it's just kind of gone into dance classes for the LGBTQIA plus community, socials where we all get together and we do things together. We go and see shows, or we go to Thorpe Park, or we recently went camping.
Oh, that's fun.
I feel like there's a proper sense of like community with this.
Massively.
Yeah.
It's so special. Like the people that I've met since it started to now, I don't know how we do it, but they're just all just amazing, and you just learn so much from them. They're all from different walks of life. They're all doing different jobs. Like we have lawyers, teachers, you know, all this, and they just come to a class now, and then they're part of our family, and like we just sort of like all get together, and obviously like I talked about, the prides and the shows and all the rest of it. It means that we all have this kind of creative space where if you want to be Janet in Rocky Horror, then let's do a show and put Rocky Horror in, and you can be Janet. Do you know what I mean? It's all that kind of thing.
I want to learn.
Yeah, come and dance with us.
But can you teach me a little something now? Just something easy, not like.
What do you want to learn? Because you're wanting like the TikTok. Yes, you've already nailed it.
What is it really complex? Like you couldn't teach me like a couple of steps.
No, I mean there's a real thing about how you stand and how you own your space.
Oh.
So there's a lot of times, I'm really going to show my sweat patches when I do this. But there's a lot of times where you're like, you see a dancer in a space and they're kind of like nervous.
Yes. Yeah.
So I would always kind of aiming our classes at beginners and all levels. I would always try and find something at the beginning that just means that they kind of command their space a little bit more.
Okay.
So like, even if it's just like an arm where it's like, this is where I stand.
Why did that look good?
Right? I was
Do it.
No offense. Why did that
Why
look
did that look good?
But it was so simple. But I just
know, you just
imagined
like
you like
threw it
walking.
in there and I
Go
was
on,
like,
do
It's
it,
your
do it.
turn, come on.
Yeah.
What is it like?
Yeah, but more own it.
Own it more. Sit up. Show your
Okay.
Yeah,
tits.
come on, babe.
Wait, show me one more time.
So like, boom.
Oh.
This is where I...
Is that giving?
Yeah, that was
My
giving.
face is just like...
Because then you've like established like this is me, this is where I
Oh,
stand. Do you know what I
okay.
mean? So
Yeah,
it's sort of
yeah,
like
yeah,
you,
yeah.
you build that power.
So it doesn't give
Faris,
you...
it's your turn.
Oh, sorry. I'm like
Get away with
skipping
it.
past. I asked to do it and I'm like, anyways.
You're doing great, sweetie.
Tits out.
Let's go. Yes. Oh,
Yeah, love
drama.
that.
Yeah.
Does it give you confidence in life? Because I always think of dance as really... I'm into music and singing and things like that, but dancing... I mean, I was watching Strictly. Not the side.
That's fine.
But like I was thinking like they really feel that emotion through the music, so music's still
Yeah.
important. But is it your confidence, but like is that how you get it?
For sure. Yeah, I think so. And it's seeing that from other people as well that haven't experienced it before. They'll go to a class because maybe their friend just told them like, oh, come along, I don't want to go by myself.
Yeah.
Seeing how they walk out of the studio compared to how they walk in is just so amazing. Like it really... I think there was this thing recently that said that out of all sports, dance is the one that actually is the best for people's mental health and to like relieve anxiety and things like that.
You're probably releasing quite a lot,
Totally.
I'd say, throughout like the classes.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, this is like the safest place for someone to learn because there's no judgment. No matter what you do, if you go wrong the whole way through, people at the sides are still going to cheer you like you're Beyonce or Lady Gaga,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
because it's like that kind of encouraging, nurturing atmosphere.
Yeah.
And the class is so mixed with levels. We have like incredible pros that come back every single week, and they're stood right next to someone that's never done a class before, and there's a place for both of them. So that person would help that person, encourage them, you know, and also that person has someone right next to them that they kind of aspire to be like.
Yeah.
So yeah, we never kind of want that to change. Obviously, sometimes we pitch it maybe a little bit too hard, and people are like, you just see them shut down.
I can do that.
Yeah. So we have to be kind of careful with the level, but
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So it's the same class for all levels. Like
Yeah.
it's always like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That could be quite tricky.
Yeah, it's. I think we're giving people a taste of like a professional dance class, but with the focus being on anyone being able to do it. Obviously, some people take a bit more time than others, and that's totally fine.
He looked at you then.
Yeah. Some more than others.
I'm sorry.
You've got time, babe.
You got this.
I love that the focus on like physical well-being, but also like mental health and like meditate. I think that's really cool because
Yeah.
it's hard to find people who get your reason why you're feeling like that. It might not be all to do with sexuality, but that might be a reason, one of the reasons why you feel a certain type of way. So it's nice to have a space that has that for you, and it's aimed at those kind of people.
Yeah, that's something that's really taken me by surprise, like the need for things like that, and also the response from people and how they feel about Homo Parody or like the collective as a whole, the classes. Yeah, we've had some messages that always stay with me. Some people saying like, I've lived in London for 14 years and I've woke up for the first time feeling like I've got a purpose on a Monday morning. Yeah, it's heartbreaking, you know?
Yeah.
And there's so many people that are in this like huge city surrounded by so many queer people, people that are like them, that are in their tribe, but they're sort of scared to make connections, or they don't know how to make those connections to start it off. So, you know, there's different personality types, there's different ways of people dealing with stuff. And in London, for example, you have so many options.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to meet your tribe, you want to detach from it, you start to see it in such a different way. And, you know, how can anyone find true happiness if they haven't got their people around them? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some people are too scared to find those people.
Yeah, where to look,
ultimately,
yeah.
Or they think they're happy, you know, going out every weekend partying and like surface level connections that are related to, you know, other things. But there's always the week after where you feel like you have to pick yourself back up, you know?
Yeah.
And look, I love to party. We talked about it earlier. I love to go out. I love to enjoy myself. So that's not me saying that I don't do that as well. I just think it's finding that deeper level of connection with your community, with people that are like you, that really does build you up and empower you and makes you feel able to get through the day sometimes. You know?
Yeah.
Have you suffered with any like anxiety or any? I mean, obviously, if you're comfortable discussing.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to talk about it. I think so. I had a really bad period when I was doing my A levels. Like, it's something that just whenever someone talks about anxiety or depression, back in those days, I don't even know if I knew what the word anxiety or depression was, or no one had mentioned mental health in my school probably ever. I don't think. But I was struggling with my sexuality. I didn't know who to turn to, and I also moved for my A levels. I moved to my dad's school. So when I said
he worked there.
yeah, he worked
okay.
there as geography teacher and a governor of the school.
Oh, okay.
This is when I was saying, you know, when I said on my email, like, this is quite juicy, my coming out story.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is the
mixed
juice.
in.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was fine him being like a governor at my school. Like, don't get me wrong, there was no issue there. But then when everything kind of happened, it was the way my dad found out I was gay. So I had a girlfriend, and I was seeing this guy on the side, and obviously I'm not proud of it, but I was kind of going behind her back, and
I think that's quite common with a lot of
yeah.
You're figuring it out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyway, she found messages on my phone, and instead of coming to me, she went to the head of the school, and obviously I didn't know that had happened. And then I was just at home. My dad came in like so angry and just was like, "Are you gay?" And I was like, "What?" And I had no idea how he would have known or anything.
Yeah. How old were you at this point? Sorry.
18.
Okay.
Yeah. It was like A-level year. And yeah, I kind of didn't know. I was so not prepared for that conversation to come up. And I didn't know myself if I was bi because I was attracted to both, but I kind of, I guess a bit of a late bloomer, or like didn't have any kind of anyone to say what gay or bi or anything was to me.
Yeah, the information was like there, so you're just like, what's happening?
Yeah, I was just like, I know that maybe I do like guys, but I don't know how to sort of define myself at this age. But then it all obviously transpired what had happened, and
did he tell you?
Yeah,
Oh,
he
so
said
he said,
there's
like,
been an allegation that you're, and the reason it went to the head was because it was with a male member of staff that I was messaging.
Oh, like a teacher or
IT consultant. Wasn't
So
teaching
not
me.
part of the faculty.
Oh.
Yeah.
How did that become a thing?
Yeah.
I was such a nerd. I used to always go to the like computer room and do work during lunch breaks and stuff, just so I didn't have to do it at home really.
Okay.
But then obviously I went even more when he started working there.
Obviously.
He was the instigator really.
Okay.
Actually, how old was
Yeah.
he?
He was young. He was in his 20s.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, he was young. And then it kind of got a bit stupid really. He used to drive this Citroen Saxo and would pick me up in this like car, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we'd like have lunch breaks where things happened.
Well, is it school or college? Or 18? What does it count?
It was
as?
like a grammar school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
It was really stupid.
Well,
But
at school, you guys would hook up.
not on the premises, but he would lunch break.
Oh my
pick me up,
God.
and then
I mean, it doesn't.
Playing with fire.
Yeah, but like, obviously no judgment.
Yeah.
But like to me, that just sounds like it would have been a dream at that age.
no, it was great until everything came out. And then I was
You're
like,
like, oops.
shit. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
so it came out, and then
and then from there, everything just kind of unraveled. So it wasn't nice. I then had to come up to my mum, and she told me that I couldn't be bi. She sort of said you have to kind of choose what are you?
Okay.
And I didn't know, and I couldn't sleep. Stopped eating. And when we say I couldn't sleep, I literally remember seeing day go to night and then night go to day, just sat not even able to close my eyes. I couldn't drive anymore. Couldn't drive to school when I was doing my exams. My dad said, "Oh, what time is your exam?" And it was like later in the day, but I said, but I don't think I can drive. So he drove me into school in the morning and I'd just sit there. Do you know what I mean? Like I couldn't do anything. I was like completely unable to function.
Was it the pressure of coming out, or was it just like feeling that you had to be one or the other? Like what?
I think it was everything. Like it was that, but it was also how everyone dealt with me. And like I was kind of quite popular. I was like, you know, I didn't really have any enemies, as it were. But then suddenly people saw me in a different way, as if I was like, I don't know, I was just like the subject of people's, I was like, yeah, in people's head in the wrong way. And I kind of, the way people were with me, I couldn't deal with that. I didn't understand how I'd lost all my friends, or like no one seemed to be like there for me at all. I also didn't feel like able to talk about it to anyone because I didn't know who I would talk to. So I just, it was awful. Like that was the closest I've.
Were you wrapped up? Like, was it you're wrapped up in your like how? Because anxiety, or I guess maybe it was. We're not like sure, but how did it feel? Because it kind of is different for everyone, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a bit heady and foggy for some people. Some people feel it more in their bodies, and
I got it in my gut for sure.
Yeah,
like, this sicky kind of like I didn't feel well. But my head was just pounding the whole time. Like, and I had like really bad, like disjointed thoughts where, my personal conversation in my head was really negative. It was a reminder from now on, for the rest of my life. I've always kind of thought, I feel like I'm getting back to that. So I need to focus, like prioritizing sleep and eating well and, you know, just taking care of myself a little bit. Take my foot off the gas and then kind of reset. So in a way it's a positive thing because I've always got that as a marker where I'm like, I don't want to go back to that. But yeah, I mean, it's why I think I kind of see it in other people now and I want to help them. I want to kind of like change the narrative or help them feel better about themselves, really. I did like a mental health first aid course and wanted to just know more about how it affects people and seeing the signs and what to do in those situations.
Oh, I'm sorry. That sounds a bit shit.
Yeah, it was tough. Like, I guess it's hard for anyone coming out and like growing up and knowing who you are. It was only when I went to Bird, when I went to my musical theatre school dance training, where I was like, I'm going there as a gay person. Like, this is me, I'm out, and you know, and it was really freeing. It was kind of like quite liberating, and like going to the Astoria on a Saturday night and like all of that. It's just like discovery, and then you feel like you've come through something. You know?
Well, most people like have to go through it to get out the other side, and it's so interesting because I feel like we could almost do like a weird research case study with like with guests with similar story, not like exactly the same. But that thing that you said was so interesting because we've had it almost every time now, where it's like I can't wait to go after coming out and start somewhere where no one knows me and I can start as this gay. Like it's such a, I don't have to worry about any old opinions or anyone.
So true.
It's always hard when you're changing as a person as well, because the people that knew you before have still got an image stuck in your head. So yeah,
that's so true.
So how did you get out of it? What advice would you give someone who might be going through it, or you know, maybe they have someone they know is going through it? Like, what kind of advice would you give?
So obviously everyone's situation is different, but I know it's a real cliche, but talking to people is just so key. And it's kind of sometimes the last thing you want to do. You don't want to actually like vocalize what's going on in there, because you're almost like protecting yourself from like other people's judgments maybe. But once you open up, or you sort of are able to say, you know, I kind of need a bit of help, or like have anyone else felt like that, seeing people that also feel the same, it means that you're able to kind of understand that this is normal. It's normal to feel detached or lonely or depressed or anxious. It's like, it is normal. And when you're going through that, you feel like you're the only person that's suffering, and that kind of like, how is everyone else able to just go to sleep? How is everyone else just able to like live their lives and be happy, you know, when I'm feeling like this? So it's about changing. Something has to change. That's kind of what I always say to myself when I'm not feeling good, or I'm having those sort of more negative thoughts, I think something needs to change. I need to like shock myself. So I would do like cold showers, because you instantly have to like focus on something else. So you're distracted from all those thoughts that are going on. I know that sounds really stupid, but
no, it's true.
Yeah.
And I've through a lot of like wellness classes, they say that like real ice cold showers do kind of like shock your body and take your mind out of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And if you're struggling to sleep, you then, speaking for myself, when I'm struggling to sleep, I then think I have to conserve all my energy all day. So I like rest and I'm very sedate. But it's actually only when I start, if I'm dancing or if I like exercise or something like that, I tire myself out and then I'm actually able to sleep instead of this kind of like concept where you feel like you just have to like, do you know what I mean? Like save your energy.
For hours to,
like I'm just going to relax because I need to go to bed, but actually it's the opposite of what you need to do. And then ultimately finding your tribe, like I said earlier, it's just being with the right people. You don't even have to talk. You don't even have to, you know, you could go to like Two Brewers or somewhere like that where there's people in your, like in your corner. You might meet new people, but you might just be in an atmosphere where you feel safe and you're able to like just relax a little bit, you know? But that's again shocking yourself because naturally you're just going to want to hide under that duvet and hope things start to improve. But it's only going to improve if you get out there.
Like exposure therapy.
Almost.
The more you do it and stay with that feeling, the more you can do it and the feeling kind of doesn't come up anymore or isn't as intense or...
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's probably people that listen to this or that have in the past felt like they don't want to exist anymore, you know? And so this conversation is so important because, you know, I've lost a lot of people and I've some to suicide, and you can never rationalize that because it belongs to them. That's what they needed to do for themselves. And the people left behind are always going to have that kind of, what could I have done? How could I have made things? So when it's like asking people, how do you cope with poor mental health? It's personal to everyone. But, you know, when you talk about it or when you hear someone else's perspective, hopefully, like even if it's one person, they think, okay, I'm going to just try that because why not? What have I got to lose? That's the start of a new journey for someone, you know.
But you've suffered a lot of loss.
I have.
Yeah. And was that after the coming out experience?
Yeah. So once I went to Bird and was this big old, I was about to say faggot. Am I allowed to say faggot?
You can say whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
Big old
like
gay.
No, it's
not a good word. Once I went to Bird and I was this like out and proud gay person, I went back home on that Christmas of my first year and my mum told me she had lung cancer, and initially told me she had 3 months to live. So obviously I just wanted to stop college. I wanted to come home and like care for her and be there, but she just would not allow it. She just said, no, I'm like, that's not what I want for you. And I'm going to fight this. I'm not going to be dead in 3 months. And she wasn't. She lived for 3 years after her diagnosis. She still played hockey. She still drove like well into a year after she found out. And it was kind of like always hoping that she'd get to this, hoping she'd get to see my grad show or see my first job out of college. Because of mum being ill, I just had a real different mindset to everyone else in my year. Like I was like, I want to get on with this. I want to book a job. I want to get an agent. And, you know, I was always thinking ahead.
Yeah.
And that was kind of lucky for me because it meant that I was the first one to leave college for a job, and it meant that she got to see me in a show.
Oh, so you were kind of rushing it because you
wanted her to see.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So like it was kind of in my head. I was like, obviously I knew that the training is a process, but I just wanted to get out there and for her to see after all those years of her helping me with my dancing and encouraging me and taking me to see Billy Elliot when I was being bullied and making me come back to dance classes again. You know, I wanted her to have that kind of, you know, for her to sit there and see me in a show. And yeah, so she did. And then she passed away while I was on that tour. And yeah, it was kind of like the first big loss I'd had. and obviously when you lose your grandparents, it's awful as well. But when you're younger, you kind of like come into terms with understanding death anyway.
Yeah.
How old were you? Sorry.
I was 21 when Mum died. Yeah.
Oh.
And then I was 28 when my dad died, and that was really sudden. That was really like unexpected. He was really healthy. And he was just in the garden one day, pulled a muscle in his side, or what he thought, but woke up in the morning and was basically had developed sepsis. Like his bowel had perforated, and came and saw him in the hospital, and he wasn't my dad. He was like very unwell, and they switched off the life support pretty much. I think they were kind of waiting for us to arrive to be able to do it. So yeah, my 20s were just full of grief really, and coming to terms with that, and guilt, I guess, as well, of like carrying on when not really knowing who I was, maybe. But I was lucky enough to meet my husband during all of that, and we've been through a massive journey, because obviously I wasn't as happy back then as I am now. So he was there through all of that and all that growth. But and I think I don't know why or how, but I seem to have just lost a lot of friends and a lot of people. And one very recently, last weekend I was at a memorial for someone that I was at one point so close to, and grief is something that's just so different for everyone, and also for every person that you lose, it feels different. But ultimately, it's like it's a deprivation. It's like you're deprived of that person, which is why I guess it's like sorry for your loss. It's like you've lost something, and it's hard to kind of navigate that, because you are losing out on something. You're losing out on a bond or a relationship. Like I still have that where I want to tell my mum that, you know, things are going well. Like I think every child that had a good relationship with their mum does.
It's like your first point of call.
Was did your dad get okay with you being gay after that? So your relationship with both of them was...
It was strong. Yeah. And it was a journey with my dad for sure. And I've got my my dad's girlfriend to thank for that. She was just very like open-minded and liberal, with kind of just making my dad see a different perspective. Like me and my dad, we were very different people, very different like outlooks on life, I guess. Even he used to read like the Daily Mail and would vote Conservative, things like that. And obviously when you grow up in that household, you think that's what's right, and that's it. But obviously then you kind of start to question things, and we would sort of butt heads on things, and there's like that whole kind of element. But the older I got, the more I saw him as a person instead of as my dad, and I just enjoyed his company so much more, and we actually did become friends, and I looked forward to seeing him. And so I'm lucky in that respect, because I've managed to get to that point, you know. And I'm also lucky that I had two parents that loved me, really. Yeah,
grief is such a hard topic. Like,
I know.
Yeah, I feel it is. I had a manager that had a similar situation with her mum, and it's so hard to know like what to say and like how to. I guess you can't make it okay, but how to not make it worse. And I'm quite interested just on that level, if you don't mind, like what at that point would have been what you wanted for people,
to
like
hear
your
from
friends.
other people.
I think people are scared to talk, or like scared to say the wrong thing.
Did you want to talk about it, or were you kind of like shut down, I deal with it internally?
Right. This is so difficult, because I always say to people, oh, you should get therapy, like go and see a therapist and talk it out. Have I ever seen a therapist in my whole life? No. And I've like, why? I don't know why I haven't done that. And I'm now at the point where I feel like if I did, I'm like so scared of opening that box.
Yeah, unpacking everything is, Because I think that's why a lot of people are scared though, because it means going back through your whole life and going through all those emotions again. So
yeah,
I do understand
exactly. Yeah. I think because I did have people around me that were sort of there for me, I saw that as enough. But they would all say that I, don't cope as well as I kind of make it out that I do. I'm able to kind of like compartmentalize it and then put on something to kind of cover up the cracks and carry on. And I've always been a bit like that, a bit like just keep going and keep pushing through. And then I'll have like moments where I wobble and then sort of pick myself back up, and it's just like a constant thing like that. But yeah, with grief and with it's such a journey and a process to kind of comprehend. It can just catch you off guard like so unexpectedly. But I think the one thing I say to people when they lose someone now is just like allow yourself to feel, allow yourself a bit of time. Like even if you do still want to keep working, you still want to keep pressing on, or you don't feel like you can just stop, there's still ways that you can just reset a little bit and just allow yourself to feel, remind yourself of that person. With my dad, I almost, because he wasn't so much a part of my like London life, I didn't have as many reminders of him. But to deal with his grief, instead of, because there wasn't that reminder, I changed pictures on my phone so I always saw him, and I had moments where I just was like, I need to keep thinking about Dad and talking about it, and me and my sister would talk about it a lot, like the family WhatsApp, things like that. So I think that's really healthy, because like I said about the deprivation thing, if you talk about that person and you think about why you love them, why they're so special to you, that's enough to kind of like keep that alive a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It softens it. But yeah, avoiding the fact that it's happened is not a good thing.
Because you'll have to deal with it at some point.
Yeah.
If it's not now, it might be in 10 years.
Yeah.
Or,
Exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry.
No, don't apologize. Thank you so much for sharing. Like, I think it's really important to talk about it, and it's one of those things where people obviously suffer loss in different ways, like a grandparent or something like that. But when it becomes a close family unit, I do think it's just a lot. It's different.
Yeah.
And it's like losing a parent isn't easy, and it's that kind of knowing how to support someone to go through it, and also in preparation, because eventually you will have to go through it in your life. So it's about knowing like how did you ever feel like when you were younger, if you did ever lose them, you wouldn't be able to get over it, and now you've like surprised yourself, or is it still as potent?
Yeah, I think it is like the worst imaginable thing from like young me.
Yeah.
Losing your parents at like a young age. I don't think you're ever going to kind of outgrow that feeling of loss, and kind of, you had to just sort of work things out for yourself. When I lost my mum, I was a bit like, okay, so she got me through my childhood because I was, 21. But that doesn't, like, no child that has a good relationship with their parent just stops the calls at 21. They still want to like update them when something good's happening. Yeah. Or if even when you have that kind of that sort of poor mental health, or you start to feel a bit low or a bit down, you're like, I think I need to go home. I think I need, my mum's home cooked
your
food.
Safe space.
Yeah, and kind of reconnect with your child self a little bit. When you go back as an adult, as a queer person, you kind of like, you see it from a different perspective, but you're in that place where you grew up, and that if it's a positive thing, then it's kind of a good thing to have. But I just don't have that anymore, because I don't really have my close family back where I'm from. So when I go back there now, it really just hurts. It's just not, I don't do it very often, and I don't, maybe I don't do it enough, but
it's the memories, but without the,
Yeah, so I find it a bit.
What is your safe space now then?
That was literally my question.
Was there?
Yeah.
You asked me.
What's your safe space now?
My home is my safe space.
Where you live now? With
with my
Is it
husband.
because of your partner, or just because you've created this like environment for it to be a safe space?
Yeah, like, I think I'm actually really lucky, because relationship with my husband is great, and our home we love, and it feels like very connected with other people. Like we always have friends over, and it's just like, I do love where we live. But also, I've managed, and I'm so lucky to have a family now, because Homo Parody is literally my family, and it's crazy. I always say about you have like a biological family and then a logical family.
I love that.
So logical. It just makes so much sense. Like, yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant they're more logical than the family.
Well, also that. Yeah. But it just makes so much sense. Like it just, when we're together doing whatever it might be, a dance class or a social, it's just like this magic. There's such a magic to it, and everyone's so supportive and so like encouraging of other people's wins, and it's just so that like, what more do I need? You know, I'm so lucky that I've got that.
Gratitude is such a powerful thing.
Yeah,
like it really is.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt this episode, but just a quick reminder, it would be really, really helpful if you do subscribe, because otherwise we don't get paid. But no, seriously, if you subscribe, then you'll get notified when we have new episodes and new videos. And if you follow and hit the bell, then you just won't miss out on any fun conversations. So make sure you do, and thank you for watching. But going back to your husband, do you want to ask the attachment question?
Oh, yeah.
Well, firstly, I want to know how you met him.
Okay.
The whole story of that. And then we can kind of figure out what your attachment style is.
Oh, no, we ain't counselling. We can try and figure out.
I go on podcasts instead of therapy.
This
is great. I'm going to pay you. So we met 11 years ago, and I was doing a show.
How old are you, sorry?
I'm 36.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I was doing Starlight Express Asia tour, and we were rehearsing in London. And basically it was like an open invite for anyone to bring their partners or friends in to watch our last show before we went off on tour. And I was like the first person to go on, like, so I was ready on my skates, like ready to go. And then Peter arrived a bit late, but he came in and like sat down, and I just turned to my friend Shippy and I was like, who is that?
Was it straight away you were like
Straight
attracted?
away.
Like, okay.
Was not nervous at all, ready to slay that stage. And then he came in and I literally like dropped. I was so nervous.
Okay.
It was so weird. And the whole run through, I was just thinking about, what's he thinking? Does he think I look good in this? Like, it's just so weird.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know he was gay or like?
Didn't know who it was, nothing. But sorry, tell a lie. I asked Chippy who it was, and he knew it was the MD's boyfriend.
Oh.
I'm not making myself look good on this podcast.
No, interested to hear.
Yeah. So anyway, it was respectful. Don't worry. We were going away on tour, but I was in the smoking area during the interval, and then I met him and said stupid things, like was just really not myself.
Like tripping over your words and stuff.
Were you just nervous?
I love you.
Nervous, literally like, oh my God, he's beautiful. But yeah, we went away on tour. Luckily, we went away, and I was like, okay, I'm the most single I've ever been, and this is not the time to meet anyone anyway. Tim's boyfriend, work. So we went away, and then became really good friends with Tim, and who I should probably call Barbara, just to make a bit more anonymity.
Really good friends with Barbara.
Yeah, really good friends with Barbara, and they started sharing a lot about their relationship and how they weren't happy and things were kind of like not going well.
Is Barbara your husband?
No, sorry, Barbara's Tim. I'm making it more confusing.
But I thought
Peter.
Peter's my husband.
Yeah.
Who's Tim?
Tim is the musical director, the boyfriend that I went on tour with.
Originally,
But Peter went to watch the show, but to support.
Got you.
boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
Right,
Let's forget about Barbara.
Just
let's not make them straight. Barry.
Anyway, long story short, they finished naturally, and I then started dating Peter from FaceTime, as in we were just kind of like chatting and building something. When I then came back to London, we dated and moved in together very quickly, and it was literally one of those things where he had to move out, I had to find somewhere, and we were like, if this doesn't work out, you can just move out, like,
Okay.
and it's, you know, nothing's lost. And he still hasn't got the hint. He still hasn't moved out.
Still around.
Put a ring on it.
We're waiting.
Yeah, but no, it's a
proposed to
bit
who?
scandalous, huh?
Who proposed to who?
I proposed to him.
How? Tell me everything.
Yeah.
Right
In
now.
Paris.
In Paris?
Yeah, so cliche.
It's so cliche.
No.
It's so cute.
I love it. I love it.
Where?
I love it.
Eiffel Tower.
No, it was in this tiny little restaurant. So this is another kind of interesting story. I planned it all, spoke to his parents, and they were like, yeah, absolutely, this sounds great. And I told Peter that we were going to spend a weekend with my family. The amount of books that he packed, like, because he thought he was going to be bored. So anyway, we turn up to King's Cross, and I'm like, surprise, we're going on the Eurostar. King's Cross is an absolute ghost town because the night before was the Bataclan attack.
Did you know what that is?
It was like
No.
a terrorist attack in Paris all those years ago.
Oh,
Oh,
right.
The
Yeah.
Bataclan
okay.
and a few other places.
Yes. Yes.
So it was literally like, I spoke to his mum the night before, and I was like, "Have you seen what's happening in Paris? I don't know what to do." She was like, "Well, just go and see whether you can still go, and you know, don't let the dark beat the light, kind of thing."
Yeah.
And she said, you know, it's probably the safest place to be. And so there was this kind of like, we're going to Paris, and he was like, "What? Like, what's happening?"
Yeah.
Like,
Why?
yeah.
There's danger there.
Yeah, it's kind of like kind of was a bit of a weird one, but we went there and we kind of like paid our respects and all that kind of thing, and kind of it was almost like I'd hired out the city. Like we walked along the Seine and it was
really?
like no one was around, and there was this like cellist playing. It was kind of like
Cute.
it was cute and it was beautiful, but it was also so like moving. It was just like, this is awful, like what's happened.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like the big sort of celebration that I kind of had planned, but it was kind of beautiful and special in its own way. And like the whole not letting the dark beat the light was quite a nice kind of way of thinking about it, because we still wanted to bring love into a space where there was like hate, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I changed the kind of plan for the proposal to very low key, like sat in this cute little Parisian restaurant that felt very much like a local place for local
Okay,
people.
Yeah.
And yeah, I literally like knelt down between these two tables that were way too close together.
So excuse me, please.
Yeah, so it was quite understated. And the wedding was also very understated. We just surprised our guests thinking they were coming to our engagement party, and we were like, surprise.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a fun idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
We just didn't, I don't know, we didn't have this kind of like big grand wedding dream, either of us. So we just had 11 guests, did it in the morning, and then...
Was it in England or did you go?
Yeah, it was in London.
Okay,
So we got
nice.
married in Islington, and then
Cute.
had the reception in Leicester Square. Like in this
Cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
Yeah, it was fun.
Did he say yes?
He did say yes. Sorry, skip that bit. Yeah. he
Oh,
said
that's
yeah.
cute. Do you guys want kids or anything? Like pets? Do you have pets?
We've got a little cat called Roly.
Cute.
That's from Hey Dougie.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
My nephew, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, and I am very paternal, and I do love the idea of having kids, but I can't ever see myself having them. And Peter does not like kids, and does not like the idea of being a parent. So I think I don't want it enough for it to be an issue, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Got some,
You're like, you could do, but it's not the end of the world.
exactly.
You can adopt us if you want.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
We'll be your kids.
Done.
We're quite
There it is.
expensive though.
About that.
Maybe not.
And attachment styles.
Yes.
What do you think you are? Do you know?
Secure. Yeah.
Is
Both of you.
Yeah.
The dream.
Yeah,
Oh
no,
my
it
God.
actually is. Like, I was really interested watching that YouTube video, and I was like, oh no, maybe I need to like rethink this, because it makes it sound like we're all perfect, and obviously it's not a perfect style, but it's kind of like a desirable one.
Yeah.
But the more I looked at it, I was like, no, we really are. And there's periods maybe when I in the past have been more on like the anxious side, for sure, and I think that's related to like other things that are going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but generally
Over the years, it's grown into a secure attachment style.
And I think it has come from my parents as well, like having like that upbringing. I think maybe that does influence it, maybe slightly.
Yeah, well, attachment styles does stem from the way you were kind of like taught things from like your parents and particularly your mum, I feel like it comes
Right.
quite close to. So yeah, that does
Yeah.
make sense.
Yeah, I found it really interesting to read them all, and like even like love languages as well. Peter's listening to a lot of things about love languages at the moment.
What's his and what's yours?
The love languages.
Yeah.
Oh no, don't test me. I'm trying to remember what they are.
Okay, wait. Do you like it when he gives you gifts, or do you like it when he gives you attention and time, or do you like it when he hugs you and kisses you?
Yeah, so mine's like, my love language is like paying him compliments and like verbal
Words of affirmation.
words of
Yeah.
affirmation and
Yeah.
all that. That's kind of like my go-to. I love buying gifts for people. He loves doing acts of service, for sure. But also his main one is
What kind of acts of service?
well, darling.
Naughty.
Is it a Sunday already? But his is also definitely time, attention, and time. And
Okay.
I'm guilty of that, of not giving him enough of that.
Like
for
quality
sure.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Do better.
I know. I need to. You're
I'm
right.
joking.
What do you think's made the relationship last as long as it has and for the future? Like what, I don't know, for people listening, would you say like makes a good relationship or certain things that you guys have worked through which would help other people?
I never, after when I was single, when I met Peter, I basically thought I'm not right for being in a relationship. I'm not designed to be in a relationship. I cheated most of my relationships I've been in. I was like
Okay.
a bad person and I was dishonest with my ex-partners. So I was in this mindset where I was like, I'm not meant to be with someone.
Okay.
And I met Peter and he taught me that I can be who I am, but in the parameters of relationship and kind of like, and have that freedom and have that kind of openness that we have, and it to be okay.
As in
And
like an open
an
relationship?
open relationship.
Okay.
Yeah, open relationship, but open in every sense in terms of like, we're so open with each other and what we want and honest about everything.
Okay.
Even if it feels like that other person's not going to like it or it's going to feel weird, at least they know like you're being yourself, you're being honest, and you're saying what you want and how you feel.
Because it's more important to do that rather than like keep all these things inside and then it kind of like destroys it in a way. Like
exactly.
if it's all out on the table.
Yeah. I just never liked the feeling of cheating on someone, but I still did. Like there was something that made
Why? I'm interested.
I literally was like, I don't know, playing with fire where I was like, I think I'll get away with it. And I just had that urge. Like I didn't feel like I wanted to necessarily like sleep with them, but I've met someone that there was a connection. I wanted to be able to do that.
Okay.
But was it ever about like you needed reassurance, or was it more about like you just wanted that risk?
Maybe a combination of the two. I've never really thought about it. I guess there was that element of the risk. It got really bad. It was just like so stupid when I look back now, like some of the things I used to do. Like that's why I kind of felt I'm not actually meant to be in this relationship. Like I liked the comfort and the security that brought me, but I also kept like straying away from that and trying
This
to like,
relationship?
No, my previous ones.
Okay.
So that's why when I met Peter, I had holding on to all of that, and I was kind of able to just meet this person and tell him everything and say exactly what I wanted and what felt right for me, and he did the same. And we've just always had that open conversation, like the whole time we've been together.
So when you first got together, were you like monogamous and then you had the conversation, or did you go into it straight away?
We kind of went into it straight away, like kind
Okay.
of with that sort of open narrative.
Yeah.
But it took a while for me to kind of understand that, because I never had a partner that was doing things with other people or anything like that.
Okay.
So I was trying to learn that side. Like I was actually the one that was like the jealous and kind of like.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
So I was kind of like, I need to kind of work this out, because I want to be allowed to do it, but I also need
Don't
to
want
allow
them to
him.
do it.
Yeah.
And it took a while, but like we just worked it out. There was definitely a point where I felt like, I think my internal conversation was negative again, and I felt like I used to say like, oh, I'm the fat one that no one wants to be with, and I'm the one that people like, I don't know, just everyone wants to be with Peter. and Peter's beautiful. He's like basically like Tom Cruise, like conventional, good looking, all this kind of stuff. So I sort of like had this negative feeling about myself, and obviously when I was giving off that negative energy, it makes you even less attractive to other people.
People
So
can
it's
pick up on it in a way.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess it took a bit of time to sort of, I think, well, maybe it was actually from Homo Parody and all the rest of this, like starting to find a bit of a love for myself, and like knowing that like all those things that I kind of thought were important are absolutely not important whatsoever. And like having like that kind of happiness and that kind of internal conversation that's a bit lighter just changed everything. And now we're kind of, it's that kind of like journey to sort of loving yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's really
100%.
cheesy, but yeah, there's definitely points in my, like before, I don't think I did.
Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, there was.
Go on.
Mr. Gay World and Mr.
Oh,
Gay
of course.
Great
How can we
Britain. We can't forget that, Phoebe.
Sorry. Did you bring your... Do you have
I didn't bring my sash. No.
Oh.
I don't know what to call it.
We'll
Is it
insert
sachet?
a little picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how was it? How does it all work? I just want to know everything about it, basically.
This is going to be so interesting because when I won, I did so many media interviews and I had so much like of this. And then we're talking now 2 years down the line.
Okay.
So it's almost like the contract's finished.
Yeah,
like,
I hated it.
No, I didn't hate it at all. It was huge for me. Like it did change my life, and I applied on a bit of a whim just because of Homo Parody, because I wanted Homo Parody to grow, and I thought that would help it. Because part of Mr. Gay Great Britain and World is a social responsibility within the community to kind of uphold something or champion something, or basically try to make it a bit better for people. And I felt like Homo Parody was doing that for people, so I wanted to like kind of do it on a bigger scale or get more people to know about it. So that's why I applied in the first place, and I just really threw myself into it. We had a meeting, like a media day, and we met the charity that we're supporting, which was the Charlie and Carter Foundation. They told their story, and I was like destroyed. Like they'd lost both their children, and they wanted to help other people that were going through that. And I felt there was some kind of magic in the fact that it wasn't an LGBT charity. It was like an LGBT organisation that were helping someone from the outside, and I kind of like bridging that gap where it's not like people are so separate all the time. Anyway, so I fundraised for them, and the format of the competition is basically there's that pageant element that you expect.
That's what I'm imagining. Yeah.
So you still get to do your like 1 in a million like Miss Congeniality.
Oh my god! Yes.
You used to rehearse that as a kid.
Of course. Hello. So there's that element because you do like your national costume or like where you're from, like representing where you're from.
What did you wear?
So I wore a recycled wedding dress that had the names of all the bars and clubs in London that had closed. Oh. And it was like a Save Our Spaces message.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because I was thinking like more proud of the London like 10, 15 years ago that was like had so many places, queer spaces. Yeah. And so when it was like, why are you proud of where you're from? It's like they should still be part of the narrative in London. Like we should still have like XSL and all the places that we've lost, you know?
Yeah.
So I did that. And then it was like beachwear. So it doesn't have to be like the Speedos thing. It can be if you want. For me, it was not.
Oh, was it not? What did you wear?
I was just as this like synchronized swimmer in the trans colours and had like the hat and like the glove.
Oh, is that like a swimming costume?
Yeah.
Okay, show.
Do you have receipts?
I can give you receipts. Because my friend had recently had a surgery and I just wanted to do like a love letter to her.
Oh my god.
Iconic.
Fun.
I love. Yes.
There you go.
Oh my god, I love.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did that, and then formal wear where you just, I mean, everyone was in a suit, but I put like a tiara on and pearls and like camped it up a little bit.
Love.
So yeah, there was that like pageant element, which was super fun. But But then you also have to do a written exam on like LGBT history,
my
rights and
God.
legislation.
Wow.
Yeah.
How was that? Was that intense?
Fab. No, it was great.
Oh, okay.
Because like I said, I threw myself into it. I was like, if I'm going to do this, I want to do well. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm noticing a theme here.
yeah, overachiever. Like, yeah. So yeah, I was like, no, I want to know more about the history of like our community. So I really went in and learned a lot.
Okay.
Read a lot of books, which is weird for me. And then it was like audience vote and congeniality, where you like give a rose to the person that you'd want to win if you didn't.
Oh, is that what that means?
For us, it was.
I was just learning what that means. Miss Congeniality, I thought just meant Sandra Bullock.
Yeah. Well, the congeniality in like Drag Race is kind of the nice one, or the one that kind of like gets
Should
you
have
through
won.
it. Yeah, but not necessarily who should have won.
Oh, okay.
But we kind of encourage people to like not vote tactically and vote for the person that you think would do a better, like do the best job if it wasn't you.
Right.
Okay.
Cute.
But yeah, anyway, won 5 of the 7 categories, and it all went very well.
Yeah.
I then the following year entered Mr. Gay Europe and Mr. Gay World.
Okay.
Where was that based? Like, where did you have to go, or was it in London?
No, it's in like the middle of nowhere. It's in a place called Alnwick. Like,
is that the same deodorant that you use?
no, that's Act. That's Act. It's a castle near Scotland, near Newcastle, South Shields, that sort of area of the country.
Random.
Yeah,
That's Mr. Gay World was there.
So Mr. Gay World was hosted there last year, but when I did Mr. Gay World, it was in South Africa.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
I was lucky
fun.
with that. Yeah.
Okay, was it in Cape Town or Johannesburg?
Yeah.
Okay,
Cape
nice.
Town. So I had like the most. Well, I had Mr. Gay Europe was hosted in that castle in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have a good time. Did not have a good time.
Why Europeans aren't nice?
No, the people were lovely. I just don't know what it was, but I really suffered that week. It was another like bad mental health week.
Oh,
Didn't
really?
sleep, didn't
Okay.
eat, wasn't myself. Came third, which is a miracle, because like I said, I wasn't giving myself at all. And then I did Mr. Gay World, and I had this kind of like, I need to turn the narrative round because I had such an amazing experience with Mr. Gay Great Britain. Europe, not so much. I was like, I need to finish on a high.
Okay.
So I just went and had the best week, just enjoyed myself so much, like threw myself into everything, and they saw the real me, because I was just like, I actually don't care about the result. I'm just going to just be myself, say who I am, and try and get the best out of every challenge or whatever. And I had the best week, came second, and can go away from it feeling like I never really was a pageant person anyway. A lot of people that enter those competitions are like obsessed with other pageants that have gone on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was
yeah.
so not doing it for that reason. I was doing it like for Homo Parody and to try and like champion how important finding your tribe is, and people that are experiencing poor mental health with attachment and loneliness, and trying to like become a voice for those people. So I felt like I'd done all I could. Then this year I was there as like choreographer for the competition and like just helping with the runway.
How has that been on the other side of it?
It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. And I was kind of like mentoring the people that were entering this year. And it all went really well. The people that won were fantastic. They're all amazing. So it's in safe hands, but I feel kind of done with that element, and like excited for what they are going to do in the future. But I don't know if I want to kind of do much more, because it's opened all the doors for me, and you can win the competition and not do a thing. It's not like you're obliged to necessarily do anything. But I wanted to do everything, and I established connections because of it, and started like presenting and doing all this other stuff. That now those connections have been made. It's not like I don't need to kind of sort of have the title as Mr. Gay Great Britain anymore if I don't want
It's
to.
only last a year.
So you'd always be a Mr. Gay Great Britain with your year.
Oh, okay.
But they just tell you not to use the year, so you're a Mr. Gay Great Britain.
Okay.
So you can kind of like always have it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But there's always going to be a new one every year,
Yeah, okay.
if you know what I mean.
So you can't say the year. Like you're Mr. Gay Britain.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think from a previous contestant, it was like, yeah, you're like Mr. Gay Great Britain.
Mr. Gay Great Britain. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm 2022. Like, that's it. Like, yeah, someone else is
my
doing
prime.
it now. Yeah, I've peaked.
Oh, that's so fun. And,
That
is everyone fit?
No, well, it depends what your perception of fit
Yeah,
is.
I use that word. I mean, like, how actually, like, physically fit. I don't mean as in hot.
Yeah,
I meant like, is everyone fit?
I
Yeah.
think that, well, the perception is that it's going to be like this beauty pageant where everyone has to fit a certain mold, and the most exciting and interesting people are people that want to kind of challenge that, I think, to be quite honest. But everyone's like trying to be, well, this is so awful saying trying to be aspirational, but that sounds awful.
Yeah.
But everyone's got their story to tell,
Yeah.
and there's no like blueprint. It's not like you have to be this in
Right.
order to do Mr. Gay Great Britain. It's just that the winners have, you know, it's not diverse, the winners. So I want to see more of that. I want to encourage people to like tell their story and feel like represented on that stage.
What are the winners like? Is it a certain look or a certain character kind of thing throughout? Okay.
I'd say the last 4 years, there's like, yeah, a look.
Okay.
A cute look. Cute look. So I'm just imagining the whole like speeches that you give. Like,
Do you remember
have
your
to do
speech?
that?
World peace.
Yeah. My favorite day was it September 27th?
Do you know what? Like, I really did buy into that whole pageant thing, and there were so many interviews afterwards where I was like, I just said all the right things, but maybe not the things that I actually meant.
Right.
And that's something that I really learned. Like, there's not actually a wrong or a right answer. Like, just talk and like say how you feel about something. It's way more interesting than like feeling like you've just ticked all the right boxes and said all the right things.
Yeah.
Do they ask you those kind of questions in the pageant then? Did they say, oh, okay.
Yeah.
What were the kind of questions? Do you remember?
In Mr. Gay World, the final round is like a unseen question where you've got like 30 seconds to answer.
Oh god, my worst
question.
nightmare.
I won that round.
Oh, do you remember the question?
Yeah, it was if someone makes contact with you from a country where it's punishable by death and asks for your advice, what would your advice for that person be?
Oh,
good question. And what was your answer?
yeah.
So I did actually disagree with the person that asked us the question. I asked him afterwards on a podcast what his answer would have been, and we had a little bit of a like to and fro.
Okay.
But he liked my answer because basically my first thought is about finding your tribe. Obviously, that's kind of like my message.
Yeah.
And so it's a kind of perfect way of encapsulating my message while answering their question, because throughout the world, there's so many countries where it is punishable by death, and due to like religion and culture and all this kind of stuff, people have to repress it. But there's never going to just be you that's repressing it in that place. So if you can find a safe way of connecting with other people, then there's a power in that in itself, in a way that you can kind of live your life a little bit more without all those secrets that you're keeping, because you can confide in others. And then developing from that, if you feel strong enough and you feel more able, then you can become like part of the narrative of change, where you campaign or you become a councillor or you become a representative, depending on the structure of politics within that country. You can actually be a change maker, which is, in history, you've got like Harvey Milk, etc. You've got people that, if they want to change something, they put themselves out there. Obviously, that takes a lot of bravery, and there's a lot of risk involved. So it's all about like the safety within all of that narrative. But his advice was that that person should get out of that country and that they should move and they should be somewhere else. I totally understand that, because that person should be able to live freely and be who they want to be. But not everyone has that courage to move away from what they class as home. Just because
it means saying bye to family, like the culture,
or
all
even
that you've
like
known.
the facilities.
It's huge.
Yeah, even be able to afford to do it as well.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a huge thing. So it's like, if you're lucky enough to be able to do that and you do that safely, then obviously that's great. But will the world ever change if every queer person in a country where it is the law that it's illegal if everyone moves out of there, will that ever change? Because no one's there fighting our corner. And on all the countries where it is now legal, and it has been legalized, that is because queer people have been able to communicate with people that are making change, making laws, and people that aren't in our community that are fighting for us as well now, because they're, you know, you don't have to be queer to fight for queer rights. Do you know what I mean?
that kind of support.
Yeah. So that's how there's less countries now than there were, but there are still countries. So.
But I think it's quite linear to just say, like, if it's illegal or whatever, like, just leave. Because it's like, if it was illegal here, how comfortable would they be to just, like, leave and go?
Leave your home.
They say it's the complete opposite. Like, actually, it's legal to be gay in North Korea, Saudi, and you then have to leave England and go there. That's the type of foreign feeling that they would feel.
Exactly. So, put yourself in that person's shoes. It's like, you don't want to listen to that and think, oh, I need to go, I need to get out of here. There's a risk of danger, you know. It's about kind of finding a way of making you exist there and it be okay.
Yeah. Good answer.
I like that.
I give you.
I have so many things going on in my mind right now.
I know, but we haven't got a lot of time.
I know.
I'm a talker. I told you.
Oh yeah, no, I loved it. I was thinking while we were talking, I was like, oh my God, I feel really comfortable talking to him. And then I was like, that's so weird. So weird
really.
For a guest to make us feel comfortable. And I was like, I hope he feels comfortable. I love this.
No, it's so nice. I could do it forever.
Literally.
Just like chatting away.
I love it.
Do we have time to do the game? Right.
I'm so scared. What is this?
We have a game. Oh, that's not your phone. Can I have your phone?
Yeah.
And then you're going
Sorry, open relationship.
That was so funny.
It's always happening.
David. Right, we'll put a timer on. You have... Okay, this game is popular things you buy on Amazon.
Okay.
For food. And you have to guess what each article does.
Oh, right.
On what thing.
Love it.
But... some of these are just there to distract you. Ooh,
Okay.
Red herrings within.
Yes. Okay, reset. Okay, I got it. But you have to close your eyes first.
Okay.
And then I'll
I'm
give
so
you...
itchy. I'm a stickler for a rule.
I'll give it to you.
Oh.
And then you guys will guess what it is.
Okay.
I'll give it to you.
Okay.
Okay, when I say open your eyes...
Oh.
No, you can see what it is.
Can I open my eyes yet?
Yeah, open your eyes and 30 seconds starts now. Open. You have to guess what it's used for. Show it to the camera as well.
Okay.
Right.
So this is to get something out. Is it to get the core out of an apple?
Wait, try it?
Do I do it?
Yeah.
No.
That's not
gonna
work.
work.
Oh wait, great.
Great. Is it to get the seeds out?
I
of
can't
the
tell
grape?
you. You got
Yeah.
5
Wait.
seconds left. 5 seconds left.
Grape crusher, you grape crusher. You put it. Oh, big grapes.
Oh, they are big grapes. Yeah.
Wait, maybe.
You probably don't want to aim it towards your
the
face.
other way. We've lost the time.
Oh, it's finished.
Babes,
but-
it was this way. It was.
Oh, and then. Oh.
So what's your final answer?
It's a grape slice.
Yeah.
of a-
Yes, well
Yeah,
done.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
a grape slice. That was so. Your panic on you guys' face is so funny. These grapes are so fucking good.
Oh, really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
Okay.
Okay.
Love that.
1 point. High five. We did it.
Grape high five.
Yes.
What a great high five. Okay, close your eyes. Close your eyes.
Okay.
Okay.
Is Josh getting it this time? Oh.
Oh.
Kinky.
Sure. Josh, reach out.
Can I open?
Okay, ready? Time starts now. Open your eyes. Show to the camera.
What?
Taurus.
What? I feel like it goes in your finger, but then what of these things would you?
Oh yeah.
You can both have a look at it. I think
I
I've
mean,
got another one. I've got another one. You can have one each.
Oh my god. No, I
An
can't work.
apple? And then you eat.
And then you eat it
No.
from your finger.
Oh no! Come on, we got
Oh,
banana opener.
Yes! Yeah! It is, right?
time's out. What- You have to give me final answer.
Yeah,
What
it's
one?
gotta be. Or an orange one
It's a fruit opener.
of some kind. It's a,
Are we wrong?
It's too late. Which one? You shouldn't have done that. Okay, go on. Choose.
Shouldn't have done that. You're in the game.
Should have fucking done that. Looking at you. Okay, go. What's your final answer? Quick.
Banana. Go banana.
No.
Oh,
What is
It
it?
is an orange and
Oh.
lemon peeler.
And lemon. We were kind of there.
So I think you're meant
It
to.
smells so good. that
I
orange.
know.
I don't know
got
how
like a whiff of it.
How it works though. I don't know if you're like meant to push
And then
it.
Oh, wait.
Oh.
Is it to get the...
the skin off.
Interesting. No, I don't.
Maybe they're not very good ones.
This lemon won't open.
It's so weird.
Maybe you use that thing to like peel the skin off, like the top's cut off, and then I don't know.
Maybe it's
I'm so
faulty.
intrigued.
Yeah, I don't really know how
You can
it
take
works.
one home with you. You're welcome.
Okay.
Shut your eyes.
Okay.
There's only like 3 more things. This is another 2 situation, so you can have one each.
Okay, fab.
I know none of these are sex toys, just FYI.
Disappointing.
Ready, go.
It's
Oh,
a peeler
30
of some
seconds.
kind for sure.
Yeah.
But what are we? Oh, okay, yeah.
Sweet potato peeler.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm not going to actually.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Wow, you
Yeah.
got 20 seconds. That was the fastest one. You're correct.
Yeah.
It is a potato peeler.
Dangerous high five.
Love that.
Not a specific sweet potato one, but it's fine.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Close it up. Close your eyes. I wonder what you guys are going to do with this one.
Oh,
I'm scared.
David.
think of something.
It's quite big.
Oh.
Wait, who are you
It's only one,
passing
it's
it
only
to?
one.
Okay.
Okay. Ready, set, open your eyes.
Oh. That could be a lot of
The
things.
girth.
She's big.
The girth on the top.
Could you imagine the top one?
Imagine if everyone that's on Grindr gets sent this.
Literally.
And it's like you can only put on your profile based on. Sorry.
Iconic.
No, but what actually is?
I have no idea.
Try it.
So you-
It's a circumcision tool.
Savage.
is it a squeezy?
Or does it crack something open?
You can try it on different things and see what happens.
Oh, maybe it is avocado. Avocado.
I just have a...
No, it's not doing anything. Oh,
Well, it
I
can't
really
be for
want
a
to know.
watermelon.
What's this on the top?
Oh, it looks like it holds on to something.
Oh, is it? Wait, is it a jar opener?
Oh.
Yeah, it's an opener.
It is a jar opener.
It is?
Well
Oh.
done. That was literally.
I would not have got
Careful,
that.
don't get curry all over you.
Okay, so you just like twist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
We're doing
I'm ready.
good.
All right,
Okay.
final one, you guys.
Quiet.
Let's go.
Who's gonna get this?
She's scared.
Who wants this one?
Okay.
Okay, close your eyes. Okay. I'll give it to David. David's a guest. Josh, go away. Okay.
Ooh.
Ready? Open your eyes.
Oh, looks handy.
There's a lot going on there.
Multi-use moments.
Do we have to like see which each one, or is it all one thing together?
It's all one thing.
I think this. So this is for like watermelon. No.
And
You
then you
wouldn't- you
scoop it.
wouldn't have
Yes.
gone into all
Yeah,
that
yeah.
So scoopy, slicey,
Pointy.
pointy.
Yeah.
Let's see if it works.
Oh.
Wait, pick it up. I want to see if you can see it. Oh, that actually works out quite well, I think.
Oh. Don't come for me, timer.
And then
busy.
maybe use your fork to fork it out. Fork it out.
And then
That's
you
beautiful.
guys.
There you go. Oh,
It's
well
It's
done.
a baller. What's this one then?
I don't know. Oh, I think other way
Slide-
around, and
That
then
way.
maybe push it in, and it might collect it as it goes.
It does.
Okay.
It actually makes full slices. Get on Amazon now, babe.
Link
Link
down
is in
below.
description.
Oh my god, like a shopping channel.
Literally.
This has changed my life. I will never eat a watermelon again. Honestly, it's so good. You just literally scoop it right out.
Oh my God.
It's so high. Well done,
Cute.
guys. Thank
did
you.
it.
That was really fun.
That was fun.
Thank you, guys.
Enjoy it.
Feel free to take grapes.
Yes, I
Yeah.
so will.
I so will.
I feel like I'm being interviewed by you now.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Why are you like this?
Oh no.
Trauma.
Thank you so much for coming. It was amazing, and thank you for being vulnerable. And you're amazing, and I am sure your parents are proud of you as well as we are. And if you've made it to the end of the episode, thank you for sticking around. You must really like us, or David.
Probably David.
We're all both. Make sure you follow for more, subscribe. I don't know what all of that. What else do they say?
I don't know.
Turn
Just
that
like
bell
us.
on. Do that thing. Comment down below. Share and all that sort
Leave
of
a
stuff.
review.
Yeah.
A review.
Oh, yes.
5-star review.
Yes,
Oh.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Do that.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.
Until next time.